Okay, so I am going to try to just do a update for the previous week that we just got out of, and basically I started a group chat, and in the group chat I rather update everyone on what process I'm going through, like what's going on in the chat, what to buy, when to sell, stuff like that. And I found that to be just a little bit easier for me to keep track of because I'll get messages from people on YouTube, Instagram, on the side through text. And I find it's a little bit more difficult to keep track of everybody. So, regardless of the fact that I have maybe 50 people messaging me still on all these different platforms, I only will respond through um, the actual app Telegram. So, and as of right now, Telegram is free, and so is the Patreon. But when I launch the app will not be free. So, and the reason why I'm making it free is just to kind of show people what I am able to do without them having to invest. If you don't feel comfortable just yet, you have the ability to at least follow along, and then you can actually see, okay, I'm following along. I see what he's doing, and then you can make your decision on paying for it later. It's almost like a free trial to look in. So for right now, I just want to go over if I made any calls last week, where we stand with those calls, and where we're headed going forward. All right. So as of right now, you can see the screen and the calendar. The calendar. We'll look at that. And as we can see, the previous week started on the 25th. And then we ended on the 28th, 29th. I don't make any calls on Fridays typically. If I do make a call on Friday, it's got to be like a really, really, really good call. And then we got Monday through this Friday that just passed. Okay. Typically, if I make a Friday call, it's either going to be a short or it's going to be one of those one. I'm sorry, yeah, short, or it's going to be a put, or it's going to be one of those ones where it's like it just makes total sense. It's hard not to do it. But yeah, for the most part, it's going to be that. So last week we talked about a couple things. I put this in here, but did I? I don't think I actually bought this. We'll look at that. But for the most part, we're gonna look at. That's it. No, we're just gonna look at this day. OKTA, DOCU, MTB, which is M&T Bank, and TXN, as well as Avalon. So this one day, I felt really comfortable with these trades. Okay, and what I want to do, I want to just check one more trade. Don't know if I did a MicroStrategy or not. I know I talked about it and why. I might have done MicroStrategy, so we'll talk about that if I did do it. MicroStrategy. All right, so I didn't get into MicroStrategy, it looks like. No. Last time I got a MicroStrategy was July. So we'll go over MicroStrategy, but we'll start with MicroStrategy just so we can kind of start there. We'll start somewhere, and I think that's a good place to start. So MicroStrategy, I posted it on October 27th, a debit spread. I don't know how much it was, but we'll just go over MicroStrategy. It's actually one of my favorite stocks. It's a stock that I do have that's trending in the right direction. And then we said, what day was that? The 27th. So here's the 27th, right? MicroStrategy was on the 27th around 7:20. It went down at one point to 7:10. So we'll say 7:15, right? I would have indicated to buy it this day because it hit my line. My line is at 7:15. This is where I would have said to purchase the stock. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 days later, where we're at right now, we would have been in the money, obviously, because I would have had you buy a pretty good debit spread. So I'm actually very curious on what debit spread I actually told to purchase. I must take a picture of it. Let's see if I actually posted it in my Telegram. So MicroStrategy last week, 27th. Would have been 785 and 780. And as we saw, MicroStrategy went up to, on this day, over 800. So very good debit spread. At one point, it was $135. So you'd have probably made $500 on this debit spread. Well, at this point, probably would have doubled. So you would have made $250. So that's clearly worked out in our favor, right? So the next one that we're going to look at, that was MicroStrategy. So 780, that's what it was. So actually, it was a really good debit spread. The next one we're going to look at is OKTA, right? Very next one on the list, OKTA. Very wide spread, so it would have been really hard to get in, but you could have gotten it for $1,000. So typically, what you'll see is, even though this spread is very wide, if you put in where the mark is, there are going to be there's going to be like stop losses that are going to connect you. At the same time, there's going to be I forget, like bots that are going to buy, conditional purchases that are going to purchase. So you're going to have different things that are going to cause your purchase to go through, even though it's going to say $1,000 and no one purchased it. If you were to put in 1,000 at this point, because it was a mark, you would have had conditions on that which would have gone through. So that $1,000 does go through. So we're all clear on that one. So that's why I said put it in around $1,000, right? If you can get it for about 800, that's one thing I do say. If you wanted to buy it, you can just put in 800 to 900. But since there is 2 likes of support, you might end up having to buy it when it drops down about that. Okay, so I was correct about it being about 1,000. Okay, so that's kind of what I was saying. So OKTA, we're buying the 250. Now, mind you, I'm buying out the money because that's where you're going to make the bulk of your money, is buying it out the money and hoping that it goes into the money. So the 28th, OKTA, at the time of purchase, we'll look at it by the hour. The time that I posted this, and I'm really bad at posting this, I'll be honest with you. It was 9:52. So opened up on the 28th. I don't know why I just did that. 9:52. So what was that? 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, it would have been, what is this? 9:30. 10 o'clock would have been, let's say the high, 247. So I said to buy the 250. Where am I at? 250 at around 9:50, 10 o'clock, right? So you bought the 250 and would have honestly been in the money the very next day, right? Or by the second, you would have been in the money because you'd have bought it on Thursday, had to wait out the Friday, in the money by that day. So, what happened on the second? Where we at? This is so hard to navigate. And on the second, OKTA, maybe it wasn't the second, maybe it was the third. Okay, there it is. OKTA, 50% gain by Tuesday. So that would have been a second. So by the second, 50% gain. That's perfect. That's literally what we're looking for. So as you can see, previous close would have been 13. I think that's what it was on that Monday. But if you'd have waited out a little bit longer, which is what I did, I ended up just saying wait out a little bit longer, and you ended up with 50% gain. So from $1,000 to almost $1,600 in literally 3 days. So it was a very, very good purchase. The next purchase that we came up with, I think it was DocuSign. All right, there we go. OKTA. Now we got DocuSign. Kind of the same situation here. 950 to 1,000 is what I was telling people to buy it for. And if we look at it, I put DocuSign in around 10:40. Obviously, I put it into the chat a little bit earlier than that. It's a little bit easier for me to post it than it is. See, 10:22. Buy it around $1,000 max. So you got it for $1,000. DocuSign actually moved a lot faster than the other stocks did. So DocuSign, I think I took it out of here once it moved. Why I would do that, but I did. So DocuSign, as you can see here, DocuSign came down on the day of the 28th. Like I said, hit my line of support, ran up, and by the 2nd, we were in the money. So what does that mean? So DocuSign, I set the buy to 130. Sorry, is that correct? No. DocuSign, 285 purchase. And as you can see, as of the 4th, it hit 285, which would have been obvious, right? That's what I'm telling you guys with the purchase to make it work out in your favor. So it took a little bit to hit the 240, but if you'd have bought it for 1,000, like I suggested, you were able to get 30% as of Tuesday. No, as of the next day. Now, here's where I want to. Okay, so DocuSign, DOCU. Do a lot of editing on this video. DocuSign, the one that I said the purchase was 285 for 12.10. Call 285. Here's the thing. If we purchased this, we would have gotten it for, remember, it was $1,000 the night before, right? So it was $1,000 before. This is the day I said sell it, 13 whatever, DocuSign. But if you were able to hold it until it actually got into the money, talking about an extra $600. So it would have went from 1,000 to 1,600, which is not bad at all. So even if you got in the very next day, still ran into the money, which was great, and you would have made that extra bit of money. So that's kind of my point. My point is kind of that although it may look like, for me personally, I'm getting out this thing. 30% and up, I'm getting out, right? So that's kind of my strategy. My strategy is with $300 and up, there's nothing holding me from getting out, okay? So, but I understand that some people are going to want to hold until they get the best possible, but I know that things happen all the time, and I'm not here to, minimize my gains. I'm here to make as much money as possible. So once DocuSign hit my support line, it's got a lot of other lines here, but a lot of these lines don't make a lot of sense for me. So I don't have them anything other than just there. Like this might be resistance, but then this is resistance up here. There's a lot. DocuSign's doing a lot. So right now, is it a good purchase? Hell yeah! Look at where it's at, 264, right? But why is at 264? It's like there's no reason it's at 264. On top of that, we got a little bit of support here. So we got it where it bounced off 264 here. It stayed here, bounced off here the next day. A little bit here. And a little bit of resistance here, which is good. You want to see that support and resistance at that same number. So when it does bounce back in, which this again, it's probably be a good purchase. This will probably be one that if I look at it, I wouldn't buy two whatever, 285. I probably would buy 285. Spend $1,000 again and buy 285 again. But this time I would buy it maybe one more week out. So I would probably try to buy the 17th or the 23rd at the 285, 280, somewhere around there. Yes, 280 looks good for $1,000. Yeah, why not try to buy for $1,000 if I can? I don't want to buy the other ones because they're a little far out the money. You want something that's going to bounce in the money. You got earnings coming up, so I like to see that. I know that there was news that the internet, like DocuSign and Zoom, were losing money given the fact that places like in-person things were going up. But how I look at it, this is actually a really good purchase. Do they have earnings? Not yet. All right, cool. All right. So next on our agenda was MTB. So MTB, I said to buy it at 160. It only costs 150 to 160. I bought it for 175. So if you were to purchase that at 175, I actually did sell that to MTB. I know it went back down that same day, like it dropped. So it was the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 17th. So I said to purchase the 17th. So December 17th was the 160. And as you can see, it's still up from when I purchased it, 170. And look, at one point it went to $5, which is $500. And we purchased it on the 28th, I think it was, for 170. So the low here was 170 was the low. The next day, 170, you could have bought for 170 again. So 175 was great. We can get it for 175 max, like I said, 175. I ended up selling it this day. I sold it for 275, 280, 280. I sold it for 280 from this day to this day. I sold it for 280 on Tuesday. And let's see when I actually posted that you could sell it. So I posted to sell it on this day for 290. So you'll notice I put down, I bought this one for 175. I made one, so it was 280 is what I sold it for, or 290. I guess I sold it for 290. Yeah, 290. I guess. MT is up 60%. So even if you didn't get out to 290, and you still had to hold for the next day, it went to 500. You know what I'm saying? So although I might have been the only one that got out this day, sold 4. You know what I mean? I sold 2 of them out of the 4. That doesn't mean the very next day still wasn't a good hold. You know what I mean? We obviously want to put ourselves in the best position. So what we're purchasing has the best odds for making us the most amount of money. What I'm doing is I'm only taking 30% to 100%, depending on where I'm at in the day, depending on where I'm at value-wise and what I purchased, stuff like that, and the stock itself. So I'm not trying to stay in for too long because that's the same money, although I may not have done anything but trading on that account between here and here. That doesn't mean that I want to still hold it and risk it. I think that it's best that I just take profits and run. You know, if I can get close to 100%, I'm out. I'm not trying to take anything more than that. So the next one, right, and then we'll look at it really quick because we didn't get to look at it. But the next one was M&T. So as you can see, at one point, M&T, we bought the 160. So here's when we purchased it, the 29th. We purchased it down here. All right. And look, I got another line of support. It never even went back down to the support line. We bought it here and we sold it here this day. And look, the very next day it ran up to what? 160. So our very next day it ran up to the 160. And what happened when it ran up to the 160? It came back down. I chose the 160 based on a couple different things. A 160 for my support line for the 17th was right here. Right? And if you look at the top of each day, so if I draw, let me just draw this really quick. So I got the 17th, and I'm at the line right now, right? And then what happens when I draw a line? If you notice, it's practically at the top of where it stopped at, and it's showing this was resistance. Some resistance is right here. So the next thing that's going to happen, and just so we're all on the same page, just so I can educate people, what's going to happen is it's going to bounce a little bit inside here. Don't know how long, but it's going to bounce inside here. At some point, it's going to break through in the day. It's either going to break through early in the morning and run up, or it's going to break through and end a little bit above here. But it's not going to end above there. It's going to end above all of this. So at some point, you're going to get a day where it ends at like 161, 162. Once you get a day between 161 and 162 where it ends, the very next day it's going to run up and it's going to be a strong candle. It's not going to be a weak one like this. It's going to be a strong one like this. A big, bold candle just like this that ran through here. It's going to stop here. The next day, you're going to get your nice little run up for the next couple of days. And that's how you're going to hit the top of this again. So anytime you get some resistance right here, see this little bit of resistance right here, and early enough in the day it passes through, right? It starts below but passes through. It's going to run up to the resistance line, the actual resistance line, before it runs back down. Now, Can't guarantee that's going to run back down all the time, because sometimes you're going to get this where it ran up and it kind of trickled up. So you can't do a put here expecting that it comes back down, because your put here would have been worthless. At no point did this fall down. It stayed going across. You might get that for a while across. It might go up and then stay across for a while and then drop back down and then bounce back up. So you got to play how the stock plays, and you also got to be very careful and vigilant. So how I play is I play up, I don't play down. If I do put a put on, it's because it looks just like this. I got a doji candle. Today is maybe Friday or Thursday. I'm gonna ride it down. So I got my big candle here. I got my Friday doji candle, and then what happens? This is the 21st, 22nd. Here's my Friday doji, and what happened on Monday? It actually came back down a little bit, not a lot, but I could have waited until Tuesday and it would have ran back down, because guess what? I'm on my resistance line. So, next stock was TXN. I posted TXN. This wasn't a big win for me. It was like a small win. I was just tired of holding it. I didn't post it in here. All right. Well, anyway, I bought TXN for $80, and I sold it for $100. It was only a 30% gain. It wasn't a lot. I don't even remember which one it was. I just know it just wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it. TXN. I posted it. You know what I mean? I'm not running away from it, but you know, it took a while just to get this little bit. Like, and I wish I could see my previous orders. Let me see. Maybe I can. They don't even show me my history. All right, so TXN trade history. All right, so TXN I bought 1203. I bought 200. Super far out the money for a stock that freaking sucked. All right, so what did I buy it for and what did I sell it for? All right, so I bought it for 80 and I sold it for 100. And as you can see, it actually went to 200 on Friday. So although I sold it for 100, right? I got literally 100 for it. Sold it for 100. The very next day, I could have sold it for like 250. So I would have tripled my money. But I got out. I had to get out. Like I just didn't feel it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I bought it for 83. It says. Okay, so I bought it for 83 and I sold it for 100. So you can see I bought it and sold it. Bought it and sold it. And the very next day it went to 230. So like I said before, it wasn't a big gain for me, but it was something, you know what I mean? And if I take the 80 divided by the 100, it's 80%, but if I do 100 divided by 80, my bad. So it's a 25% gain. So I just took 25% and ran. I think I was just impatient. I just couldn't hold it any longer. I just was like, you know what? I could do better with something else. And it wasn't moving. I mean, literally, we'll look at the chart. Literally, stock was not moving at all. And made me a little bit weary. So look at that. So this is where it was at. I bought it on the 20 TXN 28th, right? So if I bought TXN on the 28th, which was this day, when it came back up to the line, I was like, okay, this is good. It came back down. I think it was like 75. It kept doing this thing where it just was kind of playing around. It ran up a little bit, but it was only worth, just so we're all clear, from here to here, it only made it worth like 80 again. Came back here, went back down, made it worth about 50. Then it ran back up and it made it worth about 80 again. It wasn't like it made any money. It just like literally was making it around 70, 80. The very next day, I got my pull that I was looking for. Boom, $2 pull. I'm out at 10. I'm out at $1, right? I mean, I think I got out, I want to say like 355, right? It was like right before the market closed. The very next day, obviously, it opened up and it ran up. It would have been really nice to be able to get $2 for this, but I was at the point where I was just tired of just holding. You know, it just was not worth holding any longer. That's it. It was great call. Ran up a lot of money, but it just wasn't worth it. Just to me, it wasn't worth holding anymore. So, but hey, look, as you can see, call worked out. AVB. Okay, so now we're working into this week that we just got out of, right? All right, so AVB, I posted that. All right, let me look at this because I posted this right here. Great buy at 55. Oh, I'm still holding that one, so I didn't make any money on that one yet. But I bought this one for 55. I think I posted like right before the market closed. Yeah, I posted that because I wasn't really sure I was going to even buy it, and ended up buying it at 55. See, low, high, 55. I bought 3 of them. It says 1, but I actually bought 3 of them. But I bought them just in the fact of like it was pretty cheap. Stock had went down. DFS was just Discover. Like I don't even follow that stock. I knew Capital One was going to go up. Also knew that, what was the other stock? Capital One and M&T Bank were going to go back up. But I wasn't really sure about Discover. And I just thought, why not buy it and find out? I have never traded Discover. So as you can see, it ran down. We got our doji candle we were looking for after all the reds. So I got my doji. It ran up a little bit, making it around like 65, 70. But it never really did a lot of numbers, right? So let's look at that really quick. So 130 on 12.3 is what I picked. All right, and we're coming up on, and I hate the fact that it's like a month in, and I'm like still trying to figure out, am I going to make any money on this? DFS, and I haven't had a bad call yet, so this might be the first one. All right, so we're up 8 cents post market, but we're looking at 12.3, and we said 130. I'm legit. No one buys it. No one sells it. It's just a crappy stock. 50 cents was the last one, right? So 55 is what we're asking. Like literally, we're all asking for 55. Like, is this horrible? All right. So the median saying is like 43. Saying was what it's worth right now is about 43. Last time it closed was at 50. It just doesn't move up or down. What was this? 10.26 is where it was at one point. It was way up here. Dropped down. I purchased it here, and it's been that way ever since. Not up nor down, which is a good thing because if it does recover, if I do get a $2 day or $3 day, then we're in. We're good. Especially because the 130 is at the line. Like I got 130, 10, 3 is literally this line right here. So if it ever comes back into this channel, I'm in the money. I'm good, you know, but it's just one of those ones where it's not the best. Like I never traded Discover, and now I know why. I'm not a big fan of it, and I realize that. So, but still holding the bag. So we'll see what happens. DocuSign, we talked about. Upstart, we talked about how we made money on Upstart. That one was 1,000. That was a previous week though, so that one took a while to make through. So that gave me another $300. Cisco, I posted that here. Did I post it here? Cisco, November 1st. Let's talk about Cisco. All right, Cisco was a good one, actually. I remember this one. This one I think was 57, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 57 on 11/12. Actually, a really good one. All right, so let's talk about how Cisco worked. So I bought Cisco. It was under 50, but when I bought, I think it was 50. And I was telling people to get it. It's a really good trade. Came to like 40. And then Cisco ran down to about 24. Right? Because on the 1st, this is where Cisco was. Right? And Monday, that's what I'm saying to buy. But when I first told about Cisco, I talked about it on 29th, which is Friday. And I never buy on freaking Fridays, but I freaking did. And here we are. It ran down. So this is me. I'm holding the bag now. And I'm like, look, we got to double down. And the reason why I got double down is because I had another line of support already created. So when I hit that line of support and it came back up a little bit, I was like, you know what? This is actually a really good purchase at 23. So that's why I posted it in there. Like, I don't know anybody that bought it, so buy it at 23. Well, in a matter of a day, Cisco ran to 121. It actually ended the day, I think it ended the day around like 150 or something like that. It was a really good call. It looked a little weary, you know, because it's Cisco, and it was a very short contract. Very short, very cheap contract. Look at this, 126 this day, the very next day, 122. So we bought it here, bought more here, and we're able to triple to from 3x to 5x our money from here to here. I mean, I 4x, but if we bought it from here and didn't buy more, 3x. Bought it here, 5x. Like, what are we saying? I mean, amazing. It was an amazing call. It was so close to the money, and it was such a short amount of time. I knew it was going to go up. Look how small this channel is. It was going to have to break in, and it came into the money. I mean, all the alerts kept on popping on my phone. You're in the money, you're in the money, you're in the money. So, and that was it. Got out, and what happened? Very next couple of days, dropped down, you know, and it's still worth more money now than it was when I first bought it. So even if you bought it and didn't sell it, still worth more money because it's in the money still. So, you know, great call. All right, AVB, we didn't go over that one. I didn't see that one there. One of the stocks I actually like now. Actually traded it twice so far this year. And look, we did really well on that one. November 1st, we were here. When did I say to buy this? I said to buy this on 1050. I said to buy this, right? So 240 and 250. All right, I think the one that I liked was the 240. So I only posted one of them back up. AVB, where you at? All right, didn't post it. Okay, so I didn't post it. All right, never posted the gains on that one. All right, so let's look at one of them. 240. We'll look at the 240. At the time, it was 330, right? The 250 at the time was 100. So, but we'll just look at the 330. The 250. 240. 240. Contract date was the 17th. AVB. December 17th. 240. All right. At the time, it was $330. What day was that? This day, 29th. What did I say to buy it? The first. So 330 is when I posted it to buy it. Very next day, we went up to 430. Got our 50% gain the very next day. Still good. Still in the money. This one was 100. This is 50% as well. Look at that. Still good. Still in the money. It was 100. Now it's saying it's 150. So very good calls. Both of those are very good calls. Still good calls. Cisco, talked about that already. That's my Cisco gain. All right, so showed everybody almost 500% in the day. MTB, 60%. OKTA. If you bought it for $1,000, you just made $600. It did take a little bit. OKTA took a little bit, but that's $600 right there. American Express and OReilly. American Express, I bought that one. That one was a little scary. I mean, like, it did the same thing. Held off for a little bit. So I bought it on the 3rd. Right here, I got my doji candle. So I got all my reds. And I always wait for my doji candle before I go heavy. Like, I'll go heavy on the doji candle. The very next day. Actually, no. I bought it this day. The 1st, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I bought it on the 3rd. I think I bought American Express on the 1st. Here it is, Wednesday. Wednesday was what day? So the 3rd. So I did buy on the 3rd. So I bought on the 3rd. Very next day, this is what I got. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I only had to do one day. So I bought it for 300, 310. Bought it for 310. I was impatient. I was going somewhere and I didn't have time to wait. So I told people to buy it for 300 to 330. Right? No one bought it. Everybody said it didn't get it. So then later on that same day, it's under 300. I mean, like, I was kicking myself because I literally just got back and I was so mad because I thought I was going to be back at all. Ended up getting back and was like, man, this is so perfect. Get it. It's under 300. It's perfect buy. Very next day, it actually closed around the same number. I mean, like, it hurt. AXP 180 was the one I got. 180. AXP 180. Let's talk about that. So I bought it this day. I was like, look, I'm getting it. I got it at 310, right? I mean, literally, I was the first one to get in. You see us where to open up at 310. I got to go somewhere. It's like 10 o'clock. I leave. And then very next day ends at like 260. I'm like, man, I should probably buy some more. I'm like, maybe I'll wait a day, whatever, blah, blah. Very next day, it ran up. I was the first one out, or not the first one, but it ran to 440. I got out at 440. And I tried to get out. I was actually trying to get out at 420. I actually got 440 for it, and that was it. I got out. I was done. And everybody else, it ran back down. I would have been in a panic if it ran back down to 3 something because I would have got out at 380, I think was what I was looking for. So, yeah, I would have got the low, 390, 3 whatever. But as you see, it still ran up to 480. It is probably still a good hold because I think it's going to continue to go up. But that it felt good to get that nice little push. Like, it's been a while since I got one of these early $2 things, $3. Like, it was up like $4 pre-market. At one point, it was $6, and it's been a while since I've had that. So I actually love that. So when I saw that, I was ecstatic because I got doji candle that had a drop, and that made me feel more comfortable about this doji candle. But this doji candle was like an upside down hammer. It was like an upside down cross, I guess you want to call it. So it made me very nervous because although it ended green, it still was pointing down. So anytime you get that, you gotta pick your battles. That's all I'm gonna say. Had it opened here and ended here, but wasn't an upside down cross and just was like kind of like another doji, I probably would have doubled down. But given the fact that it didn't, it made me very, very nervous. But I just saw it push back up. These candles mean something every single time. So you gotta play them the way that they mean. So, but that's how I felt. And that made me feel good. I played it correctly, and I loved it. I think that's it. Oh, O'Reilly. And then the other one I just bought on Friday. And I know rulers don't buy on Friday. I mean, like, I bought it on Friday, but we'll go over that one too. O'Reilly. O'Reilly was a really good one. Look at that. So O'Reilly was also on the 3rd. Look at this push. I mean, this feels so good. This right here. Okay, so you buy this. Let's talk about it. All right. 640 and 650. Right. We're just gonna go to 640. I say you got it at 1,000. Okay, we're just gonna go for the 1,000. Because this is how I buy. And I'm really bad at buying. Because I know I'm right, so I don't mind spending a little bit more. But it still makes me feel like crap when I do it. Because I could have made more money. So 640 O'Reilly. All right, here's where we're at. You bought it for 1,000. Even if you had to buy it for, what was the high? 1,100. Even if you had to buy it for that, you're still good. I mean, like, you're really good. So you bought it for 1,000 on Wednesday because we only buy on red days. We saw the doji candle. We knew to buy. We bought it. $1,000. We're in, right? The very next day, because of that push, it didn't open until 13. So you were already up $300. Then as the day continued, you went to 50, 60, 70. And if you held on a little bit more, you got to 70%. Such a good call. I posted it at 650. Let's talk about the other one. So 1,000 to 1050. Got it for 1020, right? So we got it for the 1020. On this day, we got out. I think I took a picture of it. 13, super early in the day. We were good. Let's go. The next one's a 650. This one's a little bit different, but and I'll show you why. 650, right? This one would have been about 650. Would have cost you. That's what I put in there, I think. Yeah, 650. So it would have cost you 650. Here we are. Would have cost you about 650. So we'll just go for the 650. Next one, next day, it's $1,000. So you got your push. I mean, come on. What more proof do you need that these are good calls? Another one that I didn't post, so I'm wondering where I'm at on this one. So I want to give bad information, but I didn't post this one. Love this stock, but I didn't post it. Put it in the group chat. That was it. SPGI 480 on 12/17. 12/17. 480. All right, so 480, 12/17, as well as a $700. 470 was 1,000. So the 470 was 1,000. What day? I didn't even do a video on this one. Wednesday. So it was Wednesday. Where's that? Thursday. Okay, so here's Wednesday. So this is the one I said was 700. 700 was the 470, and 1,000 was the 480 was 1,000. So this is the one I'm saying buy for 1,000, even though it was cheaper. Okay. Went to 1,200, so that's like 20%, and then went to the 13. So got your 300%. Boom. And then this one we said was 700. So right now it's at 800. There was no push on this one just yet, but very good call as well. You know what I mean? OReilly, I put that in there. SPGI. Okay, so I did put it in here actually. Congratulations, you made $9, up $9 a day. Congratulations, you made $400. So there we go. AXP, sold them at 440. Made $300 on 2 options. And then last but not least, we got Netflix. I talked about doing a spread on this one. Buy at $8, sell at 1,000. So I put a spread in here as well. Netflix, very cheap. It's actually $7.70 now. Put it in here because I'm still following it. So anything I have in here, I still follow. I'm still in it. $7.75. Netflix is already up $2 pre-market, post-market on Friday, whatever you want to call it. Netflix is a little scary. It's expensive, very expensive, but scary at the same time. Why is it scary? Because it's a Friday pull down with these big candles showing momentum going into going down, right? So we got momentum coming back down. And with Netflix, it can come back down and stay down, or it can go up and stay up. So it's a little scary. So you got to be very vigilant and very careful with this one. We're already up $2, which is great because that gives us somewhat of a push. But we got to be very careful because at any moment, Netflix can screw us. So $7.70 is what we paid for. We paid $800 for this one. So $840 actually. I think I'm down a lot. So $840 is what I bought this one for. And listen, you know what I mean? If Netflix goes where I think it's going to go. So I got Netflix coming here, $690, right? And the one that I purchased was $705. And I purchased the 17th, right? So we'll go here. And we'll say Netflix. $17. Remove. $705. Right? Damn. Okay, so it's saying it's worth less than that. Wow. Okay, so contract value we're looking for after we put in $850. I at least want to try to get $1,200 to $1,300 for that to happen, I said that I have Netflix coming back up to 690. So if it needs to hit 690, it needs to hit 690 before what day? Where is the 690 at? 690. There we go. Okay, so it needs to hit 690 for me to get 13 before the 26th of November. So by this day here, Netflix needs to be about here by this day. So this is where Netflix needs to be for me to make $500 on this option. So not a bad deal. It's a little bit of waiting, about 2 weeks or so. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this particular stock. And I think I might have actually gave you guys the wrong information. 23rd. I knew it. I got an extra week. So 690 we said. So it's got to hit it by the first. Netflix 690. So Netflix needs to be here. So this is my point that I need Netflix to be at. So listen, great. You know what I mean? I don't see it not hitting that unless it takes a downward tumble, which it can. Netflix has been pretty consistently going up. We've been really good at tracking Netflix. So it's been really good at going up. I don't see any downtrends that were created at any point. If you notice, there's no downtrends. And when I say downtrend, I mean like something like this, but for a long period of time. So even though we got a little bit of a pullback, bigger pullback now than we ever gotten before, I still think it's going to pull back up. So, and even if it does pull back, it's cool. You know what I mean? I got plenty of time. Right? We bought December 23rd. So I got even if it takes until this day, which is December 7th, to hit the 690, I think it'd be worth the same. What do we say, December 7th? Yeah, I wouldn't lose $1. I actually would still make $200. So, and I would actually break even if it was 685. So we're good. I don't see this being a problem at all. I might even double down if it goes down to 700. So we'll see what happens. But that's all the stock options that I purchased. That's everything. Nuts and bolts. Stop the video now. And I got to edit it and remove some stuff.